Hey book besties, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you're new here, my name's Nash. I like to read and talk about all things books. I will be trying to get better at posting on YouTube because Lord knows what's happening to TikTok in the US. But in today's video, I'm going to go over my April reading wrap up. I read 13 books this month. Let's get into it. Of April was A Touch of Poison by Claire Sager. This is book 2 in her Shadows of the Tenebrous Court series, and guys, I loved it. I really loved it. I liked book 1, which is A Kiss of Iron, but this one just it hit the mark. Kat is going through it. Bastian's on that bullshit. They're in a new land. It was just craziness, and I loved it. There are shadow spice scenes. I was not expecting to like that as much as I did, but I loved it, and now I need more. I gave this book a 4.5 star. Then I read Wicked by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 1 in her Wicked trilogy. I actually listened to this on audio and it was so good. So we follow Ivy. She is a member of the Order, and the Order basically hunts down Fae in New Orleans. And she one night comes across a Fae, so she tries to kill him. She's not able to kill him. The Fae shoots her, and there's a whole lot more to this particular Fae than meets the eye. It was so interesting. I really liked it. Y'all know I am a sucker for Fae and New Orleans. Anything in New Orleans has to be good. I gave this one a 3.5 star. Then in preparation to read an arc, I read Of Deathless Shadows by K.M. Morinova. This is a dark romantasy, and when she says dark, she doesn't mean ominous, creepy. She means dark, gore, slaughter, and that is exactly what we got in this book. We follow Tara, who is from a small village called Novosik, and she and her boyfriend plan to run away, but at the last minute her boyfriend bitches out and he's like, yo, I can't do this. So Tara, in her heartbreak, goes up to her mountain to try to decompress. While she's up there, her town is going through something called the Void, where all the old people are being melted and all the kids and young adults are being taken. Tara doesn't know this. She's on her mountain chilling until some man named Elias comes out of the bushes talking about, oh, you're coming with me. She tries to get away. He tries to kill her. She doesn't die. It was so good. I absolutely loved it. The gore, the sexual tension, it was just so good. I gave it a 4.5 star. Next, I read Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. This is book 1 in her War of Lost Hearts trilogy, and I love Carissa Broadbent's writing. She's one of my favorite authors. It's always fast-paced, action-packed, and hooks you from basically the beginning. In this story, we follow Tisana. She is a slave who for the last 8 years has been collecting money to buy her freedom. When she goes to buy her freedom, her owner's like, oh, you haven't been grateful for how I've been treating you and all the stuff I've been giving you. And Tisana's like, yo, what? Tisana ends up killing her owner, and she has to go to another land to get away. And this is her journey on how she's going to help free the slaves. It was so good. It was a little bit slow in the middle, but I gave it a 4.5 star. Next, I read Never Lie by Frida McFadden, and I actually listened to this on audio. There's just something special about listening to Frida McFadden books on audio because it just gets my anxiety even higher. In this one, we follow a newlywed couple that has been house hunting. They go to look at a property in a snowstorm, and the property is owned by a missing author. No one knows what happened to her. No one knows what's going on. They get there. Obviously, they have no cell reception. But there is more to this newlywed couple and to this house and author than meets the eye. I really enjoyed it. Overall, I gave this one a 4.25 star. Next, I read God of Ruin by Rena Kent, and this is book 4 in her Legacy of God series. This one, we follow Landon and Mia's story, and what an interesting pair. Landon is the leader of a secret society called the Elites, where Mia, her brother, actually is a member of their warring secret society called the Heathens. And I'm team Heathens, okay? But this one made me question if I maybe might jump over to the Elites. Landon is a psycho, and y'all know I am a sucker for a psycho man. He's absolutely unhinged, but the fact that he is just utterly talented and smart is also kind of hot. But overall, I really enjoyed this one and gave it a 4.75. Then I listened to Brain Damage by Frida McFadden. This one I didn't like as much as the other books I've read by her. We follow a dermatologist who gets shot in the head and is recovering obviously from that brain damage and trying to figure out what happened to her and who shot her. But I personally didn't like it because I do believe that the ending was predictable. I saw it coming, and that is one of my biggest gripes about thrillers. If I can guess the ending, it's an absolute knockdown for me. So I only gave this one a 3 stars. This next one, y'all, whoo, it was hot, hot, hot. And that is God of Fury by Rena Kent. This is book 5 in the Legacy of God series. And this one is an MM romance. It's actually my first MM romance. And if this is what y'all are reading, then the bar is high, okay? Because I loved it. I thought this book was fantastic. I love the banter between Nico and Bran. Bran is fighting his true self, and Nico is like, I'm gonna pull it out of you. I'm gonna pull it out of you. And that is exactly what he did. That ending was absolutely cuckoo bananas. Cuckoo bananas. I was not expecting that. And honestly, it hit a nerve in my spirit. There was also some representation in there about people who have self-harmed. And so as someone who's been there, done that, that part kind of hit me in the feels. But overall, this book was amazing. It's a 6-star read for me. Next, we have my virtual book club's pick for April, which was Butcher and Blackbird by Brynn Weaver. And this one, it might be a little controversial because it does have a lot of hype surrounding it. But in my personal opinion, it did not live up to that hype. And that could just be my personal taste. It is a dark rom-com about 2 serial killers who meet and start a competition with one another. It was funny. There was points where I laughed, but I just don't think I'm a rom-com girly, because I did think that there were parts of it that added that dark romance part that I love, and then there were funny parts, but I just don't think I liked those two meshed together, so I gave this one a 3 stars. Then I read an arc of Secrets of Alcross by K.M. Moranova, and baby, more gore, more slaughter. Don't get attached to anybody because you don't know who's going to die in Alcross Academy, and I kind of love that. It's like they get picked off left and right. I love the gore because I'm a horror movie girly. I love the spice. Oh my goodness, there's like a Why Choose vibe going on with Tara and a few of the other characters, but damn. Terry even got one of her teachers looking at her, okay? Ooh. But I gave this one a 5 stars, and I cannot wait till the next book. In April, I finally read Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I made myself a promise last month that I would read this book because I had been putting it off for months and months and months, and I loved it. I need to stop putting off books that I know I'm gonna love because it just makes me sad every single time. But in this one, I love the representation with the Yoruba gods and goddesses, deities, if you will. It was such a blast. I like how all the characters are black, like every single one of them, ranging from different complexions, social statuses. I like the idea of bringing magic back. It was so much fun. I gave this one a 4.25 star. This next one I read on a complete whim, and that was White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a psychological thriller with a modern take on the haunted house, and it was so good. Not only was it a haunted house thriller vibe, but they're black, okay? And she also added some heavier topics into the conversation while still keeping it spooky and scary. I literally thought I was watching a horror movie just by reading and listening to the audio. Oh, so much fun. Gave this a 5 star. And my last book of April was The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. This one was a lot better than Brain Damage. I really enjoyed it. We follow a mom who has a son who has some interesting personality traits. A girl goes missing in the city, and the mom has reasons to believe that it may be her son. However, what you think is not the case. And that ending was wild. I did not see that coming at all, and I love that. Again, I do not like when I can guess the ending of a thriller, and this one I had no clue. It was so much fun. I loved it. I gave this one a 4 star.